Hello, you've chosen to listen to Why Are We the Way We Are?
I don't know.
A philosophical investigation with me, Zach.
And me, Trevor.
Oh, alright. So, what we do in this journey into the mind and, yeah.
Of
that
Zach.
is,
The mind of Zach.
we're gonna talk about fairy tales. We're going to learn about fairy tales. We're gonna break them down.
We're going to eat, drink, and breathe fairy tales for the next month and a half.
We're gonna get intoxicated on fairy tales, okay? And we're gonna say big words and sound smart.
And it will be beautiful.
Thank you for listening. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Hello. Welcome back. This is Why Are We the Way We Are? A philosophical investigation with me, Trevor.
And me, Zach.
All right. So, as I've already told you, our story today is about, well, not our story today, but I've already told you that as of today, we're going to start covering, instead of creation myths, we're doing, what is it, Zach?
Fairy tales.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's break down the syllabus a little bit.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to go over fairy tales from different regions of the world and see if we can break them apart, so to speak. You know how when you take meat and put it in a slow cooker and turn it on, leave it there for 8 hours, when you take that meat out, it's nice and tender and it just falls apart. That's what we're going to do to these fairy tales, okay? We're going to break them apart and see if we can understand why we are the way we are.
So for the next hour, you're going to be sitting and waiting for something to happen, because that is basically a slow cooker. And then we're going to do that for the next 7 episodes, and following that, we will actually start to get somewhere. Isn't that right?
Exactly. And then right when we start to get somewhere, it'll be over, we'll be done, goodbye.
Good riddance.
The bass never drops.
Is that really what you've prepared for us? An hour of slow cookery?
Well, we'll be able to dig into this dish a little bit faster than a slow cooker. Now, today, we are bringing fairy tales from Japan.
Ooh.
Indeed. And I just happened to find a book full of fairy tales, wonderful tales, and it had a nice foreword, which I think I'm going to read,
Okay.
because that's going to just really kick off the whole series.
Really?
Indeed. A story from the land of far away. What mystery, what charm it holds for childhood. With quickened breath and parted lips and shining eyes, the little voyager sets foot on the wonderful shore of Storyland. Pulsating with interest, he greets the hero of that land, follows his adventures, his struggles, learns the universal language of sympathy by sharing in the hopes and fears, the toil and the laughter of that other one, his brother now through the magic bonds of story.
Whoa.
I know, right? Now, this is the author speaking. I have endeavored in this book, both through the illustrations and, well, you're not going to see those, but our words will be good enough.
You'll have to describe every single illustration.
Yeah. Both through the illustrations and the atmosphere of the stories themselves, to bring the wee brothers from overseas as vividly as possible to the little folk of America. He's talking about kids here. He's not saying we're short. I hope the children who read these tales will see the beauty and charm of this life through the glamour of romance and the haze of tradition, which generations of story-loving Japanese have enwrapped it. Now, the grammar isn't 100%,
Enrapted?
enwrapped it with a dash, but
Oh, enwrapped it.
yeah.
Okay.
So the grammar isn't amazing,
Well,
but
he has to translate it, I'm sure.
it works. Yeah, it's translated.
I bet the idea is there, and that's what we're looking for. The idea is...
Yeah, the thoughts. You know what, Trevor? It's more than a feeling, okay?
I've got a feeling.
Oh, no, I was talking about Boston.
Oh, okay.
No, okay. This is for the first story. It's called The First Rabbits, which is actually like, my goodness, that's like saying the ending of a story at the beginning, but never mind that.
Wait, the first rabbits?
That's the name of the story.
It's like a creation myth.
Indeed, but it's a fairy tale. We'll get to see the similarities between a creation myth and a fairy tale.
I'm sure it has a lovely moral to it.
You're gonna be disappointed. Now,
Oh.
the children in the sky were all crying. Boo-hoo, said one. Boo-hoo, said another. Boo-hoo, said the rest. Children, children, what is the matter? Asked the fairy mother of the sky. I'm gonna have to do a better voice for that next time.
Yeah, wait. Do you cry like that?
We have nothing to play here, replied one. There's nothing to do, said another. We can't play here, for there's nothing to do, said the rest. The rest have deep voices.
Right.
Why don't you twinkle the stars? Asked the fairy godmother of the sky.
Nice.
The starlights are all put out, sobbed one. The sun is shining and the starlights are out, sobbed another. We can't twinkle the sun when the stars when the sun is shining and the starlights are out, sobbed the rest.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you beat the thunder drums? Asked the fairy godmother.
Wait.
That's what she sounds like.
Wait, but she just said ask herself.
No, she's asking them.
Oh.
Why don't they beat the thunder drums, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Why don't you beat the drums?
Since I've read the story, it helps to know that these kids are like on a cloud. They're like sky
They're on a
children.
cloud?
They're children in like heaven, like space heaven children, okay? They're not
Okay.
just on the ground. It makes more sense when you know it like that.
Okay, wait, because when you said on a cloud, that made me think that they were kind of like a little bit out of it. They were
Well,
kind of.
How else are you going to beat the thunder drums, Trevor?
Okay. So they all go boo-hoo. They all cry the exact same way.
Mhm.
And
Well, sort of. Now
okay.
check this. The thunder drums are all broken, sighed one. We've beaten all the thunder out of them, sighed another.
Of course, these are the teenagers.
We can't beat the thunder drums, for the thunder is beaten all out of them, said the rest.
Teenagers.
The rest of them learned from the first two that speak. They added.
Oh.
Now, why don't you shake the snow out of the snow sieves? Asked the fairy mother of the sky. It won't shake through the sieve, said one. We've made the snow into balls, said another. We can't shake the snow through the sieve when it's all made into balls, said the rest.
Good point.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Now check this. Why
Check it.
don't you roll the snowballs?
Wait,
Asked the fairy mother of the sky. Why
Wait.
not roll them?
instead of putting them through a sieve?
Exactly.
Wait,
They're already in the sieve, and they're in balls, so they can't just come out. Why not roll them?
whoa.
Heavy.
That's a deep thought. Why not roll them? That could be a
we
shirt.
will, cried one. You were right. Yes, we will, cried another. Of course we will, said the rest. Away they ran into the snowball field, aka the cloud.
Right.
Let's throw them, said one. Let's toss them, said another. Let's catch them, said the rest. Somebody's got to catch them if somebody's throwing them.
Or you just get hit with them. Personally, that's what we end up doing when I have a snowball. It's usually a snowball fight, not a snowball tossing game. But I guess they might not have balls to toss, so
A snowball cooperative program. Okay.
we are all snowballs.
Whoa, you can't. There's no analysis this soon, man.
Okay, sorry, it's too early, apparently.
Up and down, this way and that way, back and forth, how white the balls danced and flew. Oh, look, they're falling through the sky floor, cried one. They're all falling through the twinkle holes of the stars, said another. They're falling through the holes down onto the earth, said the rest. Away the snowballs jumped and bobbed. The star children all began to cry again.
I think they're in the stars. I don't think they're on a cloud.
I said heaven star children type people, Trevor.
Sorry.
Just then, the fairy mother of the sky came with a torch to light the star lamps. Crying again, she said, "What's the matter now?" Our snowballs all fell through the sky floor, said one. They all fell through the twinkle holes of the stars, said another. They've fallen through the holes, down onto the earth, said the rest. You naughty, naughty snowballs, said the fairy mother of the sky. So, she threw her torch after them. Makes
course.
sense. But it only scorched their tails and turned them black. Down on the earth, they are hopping still, these soft white balls with their little black tails, and you children call them rabbits.
Oh, they came through the twinkle
The
holes
twinkle holes.
and fell to the earth.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a nice story.
Interesting story.
So, what do you think the moral is?
If somebody messes up, you should throw a torch at them.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's a direct analysis.
Direct analysis.
Yeah.
This is Zach analyzing at his best.
I might as well be a psychologist.
He is a psychologist.
Call me Sigmund Freud.
Call him Sigmund Freud.
Call me no. Call me Three Chains,
Ooh.
aka the psychologist.
Right.
Now, I think that story was pretty interesting. For a fairy tale, it was very not so much morally. I didn't really get a moral from that one.
Yeah, it seemed like a creation myth to me.
It did.
But that's good. We needed to like ease ourselves away from the creation myths, ease
Yeah.
ourselves into the realm of morals and twinkle holes and like the bunnies falling out of the sky.
Yeah. We should drop some bunnies out the sky and see if they they're not, never mind.
No.
That's a terrible idea. Okay. Now, this is the second story.
Zach does not own bunnies, and there were no bunnies harmed in the filming of this
I do
episode.
not condone the harming of bunnies. Yeah. Ducks are all right though. They taste pretty good when you cook them right.
That's true. They are food.
Now, this is called Lord Bag of Rice, because out of all the things to be known for, they chose to call him Lord Bag of Rice.
Well, why not?
Well, I mean, you'll see. I mean,
Rice is very good.
there were definitely some other options,
Oh.
but now you'll see. A soldier in Japan was once about to cross a bridge near a lake when he saw a huge coiled snake on the bridge so that no one could pass. Now, do you think that this soldier turned and ran away as many others had that day?
What?
No, indeed. He knew that the bridge was not the place for a snake, so he walked up to it and stamped on its head. It's not
Wow.
the place for a snake.
So he could be called the what is he?
Oh, not too fast, Trevor.
He could be called Stamper. like the bunny.
Thumper.
Or Thumper, like the
Yeah.
bunny in Bambi.
Boom, connection. That's the transition sentence in the paragraph.
Oh, I see.
Now, as he stepped on him, the snake was gone. Poof! Only a dwarf stood before him, who at once began bowing his head to the ground with respect.
Uh-huh.
Now, at last I have found someone who is not a coward, cried the dwarf. Here, I have been waiting for days to find a man who was brave enough to help me, but none dared cross the bridge. Everyone turned and ran at the sight of me, but you are
Oh.
strong-hearted. Will you do me a great kindness and save many lives? The soldier answered, I am a soldier of the emperor. I am here to save lives and right wrong. Tell me your trouble, and I will see what I can do to help.
It's like Obama.
Your troubles. We'll get to them. I'm going to release a package that's going to stimulate the economy. Fix your troubles.
Brilliant. Okay, I think that the soldier sounded a little more like Obama than the I don't know what that was.
That's the sound he
Than
makes.
Zach.
That's what he's thinking.
No, I know, but
Now, there is a terrible centipede, said the dwarf, and he lives in the woods on the mountain. Every day, he comes down to the shore to drink. He dips his 1,000 poisonous feet into the beautiful water, turning it all foul and dirty. It kills
Ew.
all the fishes in the lake, too.
Wait, who is this?
The centipede.
Okay.
Now, I am the king of the lake, and I am trying to find some way to save my fishes. I do not know that I can help you, said the soldier, but I will gladly go with you and try. That's the spirit.
Yay.
The dwarf took him to his home at the bottom of the lake. It was a beautiful house, all made of coral and pearl. His servants, the crabs and sunfishes, brought them rice, fruit, and tea,
There we go, there's rice.
served on tiny green leaves. The tea looked like water, and the rice smelled like sea foam, but they tasted all right. So, what's the matter, huh?
Hey!
Which is like a blatant remark that, hey, the food may not taste good, but it works.
Yeah. If it's edible, eat it. Right? Is that not how you go around in life? You
what
don't
it
just
sounds like?
walk around taking bugs off the trees and
Everything, if it looks edible, I just put it in my mouth. Mm,
it's like seems like a healthy thing to do in the wilderness.
sounds good to me.
We're not saying that you should do that. Don't do that.
Disclaimer: putting things in your mouth may lead to things being in your mouth that aren't good for you. Disclaimed.
How, why do you have that in your mouth? I don't know. How did it get there? I don't know.
You might sound a little bit more like. Yeah.
Okay.
Choking hazard. Please don't put small objects in your mouth. Thank you.
And swallow. That would be bad.
It's usually how it happens.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay, sorry.
disrupting.
He just put his hand in my face.
Just as they were in the middle of their feast, they heard a mighty roaring and rumbling. It sounded as though a mountain were being torn up. There he is, he cried. That is the noise of his 1,000 feet as they crunch on the stones of the mountainside. We must hurry. He will get to the water and poison it again.
That is the noise of your enemy.
There he is. Oh, sorry. They hurried to the edge of the lake and saw the centipede already very near. He looked like an army marching with colored lanterns, for each one of his 1,000 legs glowed with many beautiful shades of crimson, green, and gold.
Ooh.
The soldier drew his great bow and let an arrow fly at the monster's head. He never missed his aim, and the arrow struck the ugly head of the centipede, but bounced away. So,
Wow.
yeah, a second arrow flew, but that too bounced away.
I don't think the soldier is doing much work.
Yeah,
He's
well-
not very good at what he does.
Well, check this. He had but one arrow left because he came prepared with 3 arrows.
Which is always
And-
the number of arrows that I bring
I
to
mean-
anything.
People don't usually roam in groups larger than 4, so, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, crap, he brought his big army today. It's got all 3 people in it. No.
Well, I guess you would then have to hold on to an arrow and use that for something else. Maybe you can break an arrow in half?
No, I mean, once you shoot 3 arrows, they're probably just going to surrender anyway.
Right, yeah.
My gosh.
I see you have no more weapon, but I am afraid.
Terrifying, that empty bow.
I'll hit you over the head with it.
Now, check this, Trevor. This is where it gets good. He had but 1 arrow left, and the monster was almost at the water's edge. Suddenly, he remembered that when he was a boy, his grandfather had told him that if you wet the head of an arrow in your mouth,
Yes.
practice sticking things in your mouth, it will kill any monster.
Oh, that makes sense.
It took just a second to wet the head of his last precious arrow and send it whizzing at the centipede. It struck him on the forehead, and he fell over dead.
Whoa.
Simple, yeah.
I really want that to happen. I want to, like, be able to wet an arrow in my mouth and have it
I don't
like,
think it works the same with
strike
bullets.
down everything. Well, I mean, I wouldn't be using bullets. Who does that?
I hope you're not shooting people with arrows, Trevor.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily be a person. It's a monster, remember?
Doesn't sound like a good way to go about things. Maybe you could try to put some written agreement.
Well,
You
if
can
you-
drink the water, just don't put your feet into it.
Well, if you have any monsters that you want us to slay, you can call... Okay, never mind.
Now, suddenly, the soldier found himself back in his own house, which was now changed into a castle. Before him were 5 gifts. That's 1 more than 4, 1 less
Wait,
than 6.
gifts or
Gifts.
gifts?
Gifts. Like
Okay,
presents.
with a T at
He
the
did
end.
not have cell phone technology, Trevor. You can't have gifts.
Well, I mean, it did sound like he said
No.
gifts.
Don't play around. I'm going to throw this phone at you. Okay, now.
Yes.
Before him were 5 gifts, on each of which he read, "With loving thanks from the dwarf." The first of these
Aw.
gifts was a huge bronze bell, on the outside of which was told in pictures the story of the centipede. The second was a sword which would always give its owner the victory.
Ooh.
The third was a suit of armor so strong that no swords or arrows could go through it. The last 2 were the most wonderful of all. Message. It's coming. One was a roll of silk of any color he wished, and the more he used it, the more the roll grew.
Whoa.
The other bag was a bag of rice. The other was a bag of rice.
There we go.
Which never grew less, although he used all he wished for his friends and himself. This last gift seemed so wonderful to the people that they called him Lord Bag of Rice from that day.
Brilliant. Okay,
Wow.
so that's the end.
Yeah.
I've got one question that's very important to the story.
What is it?
Why didn't he give him like the armor and the sword before they went against the thingy-majig? He wouldn't have had to
Why
went.
didn't he
He wouldn't.
use the sword? But that's not the. That's not
Yeah, he
the.
wouldn't have had to use the arrow in mouth technique.
It's all about tests, Trevor. It tests the fortitude of the brave warrior. He was willing to go up against a mighty beast that he might not have been able to defeat.
And therefore he gets something that makes him able to defeat it. Dun
Yeah,
dun dun.
makes sense like that, doesn't it?
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you say it makes sense, I'm sure it makes sense. Okay. Anything else that we should
Um, I mean, we didn't really talk about like the connotations of the story, Trevor.
Oh, yes, sorry,
Very
sorry.
interesting. Only really thing I got out of it was eat your food, even if it tastes bad, 'cause it gets the job done. Got that
Including
from the
arrows.
story. That part, I don't think you're supposed to swallow the arrow, though. I don't think you're supposed to chew on it either. We have a dentist now, but you don't want to see him for that.
Yeah. That would be a little awkward. How did you break your tooth? I was chewing on arrows, you know. Why did
mean-
they do that? Well, Zach and Trevor told me to. Okay, don't do that. That's a bad idea. Um, What do you think that the is it a millipede?
Centipede.
Centipede. What do you think the centipede symbolized? 'Cause I'm curious about that because it seemed like a pretty important character.
Was it? I mean, it had such a huge speaking role and all.
Well, I mean, it had really dirty feet.
The interaction was great. Oh, there it is. Kill it.
Yeah. I mean, they could have talked to it.
Well, that wouldn't make any sense.
Tried diplomacy,
Nah.
brought it like a piece of cake and said, "If I give you this cake, you won't like ruin all of my water and kill the fish."
Should have launched some cruise missiles at its home. Blow up the other centipedes too, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe
you
they
never
could
know.
launch like a covert strike, kill the centipede's nephews, then get the centipede.
Well, everyone knows that when there's one centipede, there's usually more. Especially when it's that big.
Well, now I know that fact. Don't know if I was privy to that before, but thank you, Trevor.
You're welcome.
We took
I
care of that.
wasn't really knowledgeable about that either, but I figured that was an important discovery.
Chart one down for Trevor, one down for the little spaceship that just passed Pluto, and one down for Trevor.
Woo!
That puts you on par with NASA. There you go, Trevor.
I'm a NASA. I am a NASA. Okay.
No swearing on the air, Trevor.
What?
Um,
All right.
Here is a story quite similar to a like regular English story that I've heard before. Let's see if you recognize some of the pieces from it. All right?
Aye, Captain.
It is called Peach Darling.
Ooh.
I really like this one. I kind of teared up reading it earlier. I'm just like, oh, it's so beautiful. Now, here, I don't know where here is. Here once lived an old man and an old woman who had no children of their own. They felt very sad about this, for they said, "Who will care for us when we are too old to care for ourselves?"
I love that old man voice. Yeah. Is it combined old man and woman voice?
Okay, so, oh my god. I was trying to do like old man and old woman at the same time, and it just kind of turned into...
do anything to me.
That was better than mine. Mine kind of sounded like someone squeezing a cat.
The squeaky part was pretty
Yeah.
good.
All right, now, since they had no children of their own to love, they loved all other children and tried to make them happy.
Oh.
Even the cats and dogs, the birds and squirrels knew they had friends in the old man and woman. No cherry trees ever bore such beautiful blossoms as the ones by their cottage door, and all of the bees living in the village came to hum with delight at the long and graceful catkins on the willow tree.
That seems so dangerous. I got the bees and I got the children. Yay!
They got the birds and they got the bees,
Ooh.
but they don't have any kids.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, one day the old man said, "Today, I must go to the mountains to cut grass. Oh, if I only had a stout young boy who could take this long journey for me. But then I must not complain, for we have each other." So off he went, happy and contented, in spite of it all.
Yeah, well, he doesn't seem that contented by the fact that he complained about it just a moment ago.
Oh well, I think it was more of like a wistful yearning.
He's just probably thinking to himself, I don't want to have to walk this far, get me someone else. And then he goes, well, nothing's happening. It sounds like he's on the edge. He might just crack soon.
He doesn't want to go into the danger zone.
Highway to...
Nope. Now, then the old woman said to herself, if my good husband must take such a long journey, a long hard journey today, I too will be at work. I will take all these clothes down to the river and wash them. Soon she was on the river bank, washing merrily while the birds sang above her. How jolly our little friends are today, said the old woman. They twitter and sing as though they were trying to tell me a secret. Just then, something came splashing and tumbling down the river and caught among her clean clothes.
Hmm?
The old woman took a stick and pulled it out. It was a huge peach. I will take this home for my husband's supper. I'll be so tired, and this'll taste so good, she said. Oh, how the birds sang then.
Wait, isn't this supposed to be like
Now she's southern.
a place from Japan? She's from southern Japan.
She's from Japan, Georgia. No,
I thought we were supposed to be going around the world here. What happened?
no. That evening, when the old man came home from the mountains, his wife said, just see, here is a peach for your supper, which came floating down the river to me. I fancy the birds must have sent it, for they laughed and sang so when it came. The old man said, bring me a knife, that I may cut it in two, for you shall have half of it.
I feel like that would be kind of unnerving if like the birds must have sent it for us and they're like cackling in the background. Yes, we did.
Hopefully not the same birds as Alfred Hitchcock's. Nope.
Yeah, and then he got the knife. I think there's gonna be like,
We'll see. Since they're a society, it's composed of two people. It's only fair that they split all the goods in half. You see?
yeah, I see. But there's also the birds. Is he gonna share with the birds?
No,
Okay. Well,
no. The
He's-
birds are undocumented. They no can't share with the birds.
whoa.
If we could catch them all, we'd probably take them back upstate, but can't do that. So
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad.
I mean,
We do
I'm all
not-
for letting the birds stay, but some people aren't. So
He was just channeling his some other person, I guess. Who are you channeling there?
what?
Okay. Let's go on.
Now, when they opened the peach, there within it lay a tiny baby boy, as round and fat and smiling as could be. Because of his first cradle, they called him Peach Darling, and loved him as a child sent from the gods.
Wait. A child came out of the peach.
Oh, yeah, it was in the
Okay.
peach.
Okay.
Now, he
Ugh.
grew tall and strong, and they found that he was very wonderful indeed.
Like a
No
peach.
one equaled him in strength. I don't know if peaches are very strong. Have you ever squeezed one?
Well, you know.
And none in wisdom. Every child in the village loved him, and all the birds and animals were his friends.
That's nice.
He took good care of his old mother and father, should they not, so that they would not have to work as hard as they did. For, he said, what better thing can I do than take care of you? When he became a young man, he heard of the terrible monster, Akandoji. Years before, this monster had stolen a great deal of gold and silver from the villagers. It was said that he was so terrible that no one dared go against him to try to recover the riches.
Terrible.
Peach Darling said, I will go and fight this monster. Who will go with me? But no one dared to go. So
The
he decided
name.
to go alone.
The name is perfect for this. I like the idea of a great word being named Peach Darling.
Well, his mother and father were so proud of their brave son, but their hearts ached to think of his going alone. His mother said to his father, if you will grind me some fine millet seed, I will make our son some dumplings,
Oh.
for they may give him more strength to fight Akandoji. So the old man ground the millet seed, and the old woman made the dumplings.
Wait a minute. Got a question really quick.
What?
So they're really sad that he's going alone, so they decide to bring him friends of dumplings? Like, dumpling friends?
What? No, they just straight up made him some food, like a lunch to carry.
Yeah, but it sounds like maybe they're hoping that the dumplings will turn into something like a peach, where they turn into.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they're like, hopefully he'll eat these. Not that he'll bury it in the ground and water it and hope it grows.
Then why'd they say that right then?
Where? Say what?
Well, it says that he wants to be, that they're afraid of him going alone. They're sad by that, and then so they make him dumplings.
Oh, well, it's because it's the only thing they can do. They can't go with him.
Oh,
'cause they
okay.
old. They're in
It's a little cowardly.
pre-mechanical wheelchairs.
Well, moments ago he was going to cut the grass.
No.
Actually, in a wheelchair. They're like, we don't want you going alone,
Well,
so you're gonna wheel us there.
It's been years. Okay, now they're in wheelchairs. Now, Peach Darling put them into his pouch, the dumplings, and started off on his journey. As he was going along, a dog came up and sniffed hungrily at the dumplings. At the dumplings. Peach Darling thought.
I mean, they probably did both, but.
Peach Darling thought. This poor dog is hungry, and I can do with one less dumpling. I am a strong and shall not mind hunger. So he gave a dumpling to the dog.
You're like channeling all the presidents today.
As soon as the dog had eaten it, the dog spoke and said, "Since you have given me of your food, I will go with you, for I cannot leave you alone." So on they went together.
Talking dog.
Food is very bonding. It's also magical, gives dogs power to talk. That's why we don't feed dogs from the table.
Good. That's a good lesson. Wait, no, don't tell people that, because then they will feed them at the table.
Yeah.
Well, if you're sneaky about it, it might work. But actually, no, it won't. Your parents will definitely know if you've been sneaking food to the dog, because it'll start talking.
I mean, I don't think you need to worry about your parents finding out your dog talks. It's the government. They like to dissect things. So.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean.
Oh, that was brutal.
Now, very soon they saw a monkey lying by the road, gasping as if in pain. Okay. Peach Darling stopped to see what was the matter, and he heard him say, "Oh, if I only had a bite of something, I should not die."
Wait,
So
donkey?
Peach Darling took another dumpling from his pouch and gave it to the monkey.
So monkeys can talk without
Yeah, the monkey talk already.
food, yeah. Maybe somebody already fed the monkey once.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Now, after eating it, the monkey felt so much better that he said, "Since you have saved my life, I will go with you, for I may be able to help you sometime." So the three walked off together.
Oh.
As they were going, a pheasant hovered near them. Fearing that something might be wrong with her or her young ones, Peach Darling stopped and asked her what troubled her. In bird language, she said,
Oh, bird language, it's not even normal.
"Oh,
He
sir."
just speaks bird language.
That's the actual transcription.
That sounds like
See.
that sounds like you're doing some Morse code right now.
No, that's bird language, Trevor. That's why you can't speak it,
It's like
but
a
I
telegraph.
can. No, just kidding.
The bird is telegraphing.
The bird said, in actuality, "Oh, sir, my young ones are starving, and I do not know what to do." "Do?" said Peach Darling. "Take them this dumpling, and if ever again you are hungry, come to me. I will not let you starve."
I aim to feed the world.
That's more like a Roosevelt, though.
Yours? I think you were doing a.
No.
Yeah, you.
That statement.
You were doing a.
Um,
No, that's not. That statement's not that. Well, kind of. Yeah, it's a Roosevelt / Kennedy statement.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, by this time, they were down to the seashore, so they climbed into a boat and started off for the island of Akandoji. Just as they were starting, there was a flutter of wings, and the pheasant alighted in the boat with them. "Dear Peach Darling," she said, "if you are going to face dangers, I will go too, for perhaps maybe I will be able to help you." After a long row, they reached the monster's island and climbed the steep hill to the gate of the castle. There they found the monkey of great use, since he always has 4 hands and 4 feet, as well as a long, strong rope fastened to his body.
Wait, the monkey?
I didn't get that part yet.
4 hands, 4 feet.
Maybe 4
And a
hands
rope.
or 4 feet, and the rope.
Wait, he's got a rope?
He's got 4 hands or 4 feet and a rope. It's a tail.
Or 4 feet, or and.
That says "and," but I think they mean 4.
No, I think it should be and. Everybody knows that
That's an
monkeys have
arachnid.
eight
That's a
legs.
not a monkey.
Could you imagine an eight-legged monkey?
That would
That
be a spider.
sounds
It
really
wouldn't be a monkey.
scary.
Eh,
Well, no, because a spider I think would,
eh.
unless the monkey has an exoskeleton, I doubt it's a spider.
I mean, this one could. It's got a rope attached to it. Now, when they reached the great gate of the castle, they all four began to make the greatest noise possible. The man shouted, the dog barked, and the pheasant screamed, and the monkey chattered. While they all beat on the door with stones. No, it chattered. It didn't have problems starting its car. So,
It's gotta be like, no, no.
okay.
How does it? How does the chatter sound then? You have to make this sound for me. I have to hear this.
That's the sound the monkey made.
That's chattering.
The people in the village found this very disturbing. They're like, my goodness.
The monkey needs to go.
Yes, well, the people within thought that a great army was upon them, so they threw open their gates and fled, not noticing apparently that there were just 4 people out there.
Just noticing there's a monkey. That's not even people.
Yeah.
There's a monkey, a pheasant, a peach darling, and a what else is there? Oh, there's the dog.
Yep. Now, Peach Darling searched until he found Akindoji himself, who was just about to throw a great stone at him. He dodged the stone and picked up the monster in his arms, while the monkey tied him fast with ropes. When he found himself beaten, Akindoji agreed to return all his stolen riches, so his men carried down great bags of gold and loaded the boat of Peach Dumpling. Then up went the sail, and as the wind swept them over the sea, the island of Akindoji grew small and disappeared.
Uh-oh.
All the village was glad when they returned, but none were so glad as the old man and woman. The people were now very proud of Peach Darling, and called him a great man, but he said,
I am a peach.
Give all the honor to my 3 companions, for they did it all. Ask not what your companions can do for you, but what you can do for your companions. Now, Peach Darling lived many years, and was always kind and wise. Many people of the village came to him for help. Once, the people brought him a wonderful peach fashioned of gold. They said, We all love you for bringing us back our riches, but we love you far more for your wisdom and kindness to us all.
Oh.
Moral. Yeah, I like that one. It's interesting. A lot of talk about working hard.
Yeah, that was a nice story. I think that was probably the most fairy tale-esque of the fairy tales.
Yeah, working hard, braveness and or courage in the face of adversity. Let's see, what else did they mention?
Give a dog a dumpling.
You mean like sharing?
Sharing is caring.
You can give a dog a dumpling. You can give a pheasant a dumpling. You can give a monkey a dumpling, but you cannot give a mouse a cookie.
But you can't give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah, can't give a mouse a cookie.
Have you tried this before?
Yeah, he'll want a glass of milk. Then he'll want
Sounds like Santa Claus.
He'll want a tank to colonize Western Europe. See how quickly it escalates?
Oh wow, that was pretty intense.
Indeed.
I did not realize that mice had that much evil in their veins. Luckily, we have the monkeys, the dog, the pheasant, and the peach darling to save the day by pretending to be an entire army.
Yeah, luckily we have the guy from the first story with a sword that makes you win. Now,
A sword that makes you win. Yes, exactly. Now what? What were you saying?
I was just going to move on to the next story.
Oh, are we going to the next story? We're going
One
through them
more
today.
time. One more story. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Oh yeah. All right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a cover of a Daft Punk song.
Yeah, I've heard that song.
Now, this one is called The Old Man with a Wart. These stories are just so the titles.
They're beautiful.
They're just so descriptive.
Well, it tells you what the story's going to be about, which is always nice. Except for the one about the king of the rice, the bag of rice.
Mr. Bag of Rice or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little less descriptive of what was actually going to happen, but
Yeah. Okay. Now,
all right, I'm ready.
there was once an old man, who had a wart on the side of his face. It was such a huge wart that it looked like a peach growing there.
Peach again.
It
That's where
hurt.
the Peach Boy came out
And,
of.
oh God, that's disgusting. It hurt every time he ate his rice or drank his tea, but he never complained. One day, he was up in the mountains cutting wood when a dreadful storm arose.
Oh no.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, sorry, that's not thunder. That's
Wah, wah.
dubstep. Now
That's thunder.
the
Wah, wah, wah,
the
wah, wah.
pine trees that usually murmured a soft, whispering song now shrieked and groaned as the wind tore through them. He found a hollow tree and climbed in. There, he was dry and warm while the rain poured down as though the very sky were falling. He had never been in such a storm before, and as he listened to the wind and breathed the fresh damp odor of the rain, he was glad he was there. The great pines, hundreds of years old, were bent and twisted about like grass. The old man had thought that he was the only one in the woods, but soon he heard the voices of people coming nearer and nearer. They must enjoy the storm, he thought, for they were singing and shouting happily.
Of course.
They did not sound quite like men, but more like rushing of the wind and the hurried swaying of trees.
Wait, what?
They
So the
didn't
trees are enjoying the storm.
They didn't sound like men, they sounded like trees and wind.
Wait, but wind is the storm.
Not necessarily, Trevor. Wind is like the storm's cool
Brother.
with temper tantrums.
Okay.
Now, they kindled a fire which leaped up into the little sharp tongues of flame, for all the world like lightning. Each flash lighted up the forest, and then he saw that his jolly companions were the storm spirits. They sat in a circle around the fire and began their song. If you could but hear it. It sounded like the wind whipping the treetops back and forth, or the breeze bowing the long grasses in lines before it. It was like great waves trampling and tumbling upon the shore, or the pounding of tiny raindrops hammering upon the dry leaves.
How would you crackle it out?
It seemed as though all the trees were swaying and bending in time
They're
with
dancing.
the wind because they loved it. No, they're whipping and neighing. Now watch me whip. Now watch me breeze.
I heard about that the other day, and I still haven't seen that video. I feel like I'm missing out.
Obviously under a rock, Trevor.
I
Now,
am living under a rock. Thank you for noticing.
indeed. But now check this, Trevor. The old man could not sit still. He sprang into the midst of the group and began to dance. The air was sweet. The grass gave a faint, fresh odor. He seemed to be dancing like the trees and flowers. Like a willow by the river, he bent and swayed and bowed. The song grew softer and sweeter until the trees were still and the sun peered through the clouds. At last the old man sat down to rest. Then the storm spirit said, "Oh, good man, come to us again and dance for us. As a pledge that you will come, we will take this peach that grows on the side of your face. Is it not the most precious thing you possess?" So they took his wart and let him go. All right.
So rude.
When he reached home, his wife cried, "Oh, husband, what have you done with your wart?" Then he told her all about it, and they were very glad. These old people had a neighbor who had a wart on the left side of his face. The wart was red and shiny,
Apple.
like an apple.
Boom.
He
I
heard-
swear I haven't read this story before.
No cheating.
I haven't. I swear.
He heard the storm spirits had taken the other man's wart, so he too went to the mountain and crept into the willow tree. There he waited until the storm came. How it raged! It lashed the leaves like whips, and the lightning tore yellow gashes in the black clouds. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dubstep is basically the same as a thunderstorm anyway. Now,
Yeah, that's what I picture whenever I go out into the rain.
exactly. Now,
Yes.
this old man shivered and shook with fear. At last, the storm spirits saw him and dragged him forth to dance for them, but he was so frightened that he could only shake and tremble. Then they were angry and said, "Well, if you can't dance better than this, we don't want you anymore." So
Southern coming back out.
they put the other wart on the right side of his face and started him off.
That warrant ain't big enough for both of us.
There ain't enough room in there for the two of us. Now, poor man, he was sorry he came, for now he had a wart on each side of his face, and was wet to the skin as well.
Well, he's symmetrical now.
I guess so.
Wait, what would wet to the not skin be? Would that be like your clothes are wet, but somehow you're not wet?
Maybe a little bit damp, not soaked, drenched.
Oh, I see. So, kind of like a fine mist has just touched your clothes.
Yeah. Oop.
Oop.
Yeah, it's more like that.
Okay, okay. Is that it?
That is all for that story.
What? It ends with the guy having two on his face?
Yep. Two's better than one. Or at least in terms of heads.
Is that the moral? Two is better than one?
Let's see. Now,
Yes.
the moral, it seems like it stops halfway. It's got very good length of a children's story, but it does seem like it stops halfway with that sentence.
I feel like something could have happened, and all of a sudden he would not have them both, and the trees would be happy to have both. But
Possible, yeah.
doesn't sound like it, does it?
I don't think so.
I think it's maybe be happy with what you're given.
Yeah. I like that message. I agree with it from the last one as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good overarching message from these stories, at least the last two. First one, the bag of rice, I don't know about that. Be happy with like all the amazing things you're given.
Yeah, I mean, when somebody gives you a sword and a bag of rice, keep the bag of rice.
Yeah, and a piece of cloth of any color you want. Wait, does that mean that it could change colors, or does that mean that you think it could, it had to be one color and he had to be like, what color of cloth do I want for the rest of my life?
I think it could change colors.
Oh, that'd be cool. That might be actually better than, no, actually, well,
Is it?
I don't know. Depends on if you're really good at making clothes or not. It could
Yeah.
I guess you could make like massive togas every day. It's like wrap
Yeah.
yourself in cloth.
I mean, that could be pretty fun, pretty comfortable.
Could be look kind of like a zombie all the time.
Interesting.
That could be the new look. That could be like your look, the zombie look.
That is the new alive? I don't know.
If you see someone, no, I guess it'd be a mummy look. If you see someone walking around campus, looking like a mummy,
Yeah.
ask if that's Zach. And the answer will probably be no.
Okay.
It might be a real mummy. Run away.
I'll slap him. Smack him.
All right. Well, that was a lovely story. I don't think we have time for another one.
That was final call, everybody.
So, I think. Do you want to say where we're going next week?
I think you got that.
Okay. So, our goal for this year is to make a journey across the world, around the world, I guess, not across the world. It's not flat.
Yeah.
Around the world, and we're going to try to go, starting in Japan, all the way around westward.
Yeah.
Right? Westward. So, next stop, I think, is going to be me in Northern Asia,
Yes.
and then we'll go Southern Asia, then we'll go Australia, then we'll go to I believe the Middle East, and then Northern Europe, Southern Europe, North Africa, Southern Africa. Not like the country, but you know, the half of the continent.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go North America, South America to finish us off. Yeah, I think we're finishing off with South America. Maybe we're not. Might go in a little bit of a different direction, but those are about all of the places we're going. And then hopefully, we'll see if we can end up doing what we did last year and make our own for the final.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, do you have any other final words for us, Zach? Any insight that will send people on their way?
Any insight? Well, just to say that, hey, remember that if you put an arrowhead in your mouth, It'll kill any monster.
Everybody, keep that in mind. All right. Well, that was a lovely beginning to our journey.
Thank you for listening, and it's been a wonderful start to our journey. Our journey into the land of fairy tales. Into the land of fairy tales.
Sorry, Zach had a cough,
Sometimes I get really enthusiastic.
and it's kind of scary. But for now, we have to say
Goodbye. Hashtag we love you. Hashtag but not in a clingy way though. YOLO. Swag.
goodbye from us. Thank you. Thank you.